I want to be the next Michael Jordan. Dwayne Wade exclaimed to his financial advisors. That's going to take a little bit of the time when his financial planners replied, you're rich, but Jordan is wealthy. What do you mean, Wade quipped? That's flipping through the pages of GQ magazine. Rich means that if you're not careful with your spending, one day you'll eventually be broke. Wealthy, on the other hand, means that nothing or no one can touch you. As we wrap this bad boy up, I got one of my former students in here and she can attest. The last class in my class, I've been doing this for 15 years, is always take a millionaire to lunch. We push corporate on the kids so much, man. This is the first time they can really spread the entrepreneur wings. We bring a certifiable millionaire. You know me, I'm a sponsor of the lunch, and I let the millionaire go ahead and talk and do his thing, tell him how he or she did it. And I've had a who's who. You know, I'll just pick up the phone. Last week, one of the 4 millionaires was Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey came down to speak to my kids, man. I've had athletes, I've had entertainers, I've had, just run-of-the-mill millionaires, blah, blah, blah. And I had this brother right here, Ruben McDaniel. And you listen to me, Dallas, Texas. You may or may not know that Usher made 2 fortunes over the course of his career. His first fortune, baby, he blew through. He didn't even know what happened to the money. But the second fortune that he made, he had an epiphany. He had an aha moment that he didn't want to be over the course of his life when he got up in years some rundown singer singing in backroom joints. And so he tracks down Ruben McDaniel. Ruben McDaniel stood in the same pit where I stand every Tuesday and Thursday and spoke to my kids. Because all of them want to go into sports and entertainment. I've got my own record label. Oh, okay, really? So Usher goes ahead and tracks down Ruben McDaniel, who was a business partner of Maynard Jackson. And he says to him, Ruben McDaniel begins to interview him, and he says, why me? What would you pro? He said, well, I just don't want to, blow my money and everything. I don't want to be singing in some back club, for my fare, for my money, just to make ends meet. I want to hold on to what I have. And then he says to Usher, can I see you have a financial statement? Do you have a spreadsheet? And he hands it to he hands it to Ruben McDaniel, and Ruben McDaniel looks at his finances and he goes, oh my God. Now that is interesting. Ooh, look at this. Now that is really interesting. Okay, do you have any financial goals, Mr. Usher? No, not really. Okay, well, before we get started, I have a form that I want you to fill out, and he hands them the form. And Usher looks at the form and he says, this is an application to McDonald's. What is this about? He said, why am I filling this out? He said, because if you keep spending the way that you're spending, you're going to need to fill out that application. He said, how many Rolls Royces do you need, Mr. Usher? How many Rolexes do you need? And they put him on a budget, said, you sign with me because I'm not going to waste my time. We're going to handle your money. We will only put you on a budget. You will spend only 10% of what you earn. That is enough. So moving right along, what else do we have up here? You cannot change your life. You can only change your habits, and your habits will change your life. Well, boys and girls, I found 4 common chords in all these men and women. Number 1, they had a dream, a passion, something they desperately wanted to accomplish in life. Point number 2, they were inner directed versus outer directed. In other words, they weren't so quick to believe well-meaning friends or family members who said, you can't do this, you can't do that. They walked to a beat of a different drummer. And that's why the old poet Robert Frost was so apropos when he wrote years ago, 2 roads diverge in the wood. And I took the one less traveled by. In other words, you are unique. You cannot succeed being like everybody else if you're going to accrue great wealth. So what's the opposite of success? The opposite of success is not failure. The opposite of success is conformity. You'll never succeed conforming to the wishes, norms, and mores of others. And here we go. God, I love Maynard Jackson. I love Maynard Jackson. He made his transition. I cried. Maynard Jackson didn't know me from Adam. When I was writing What Makes the Great Great, I asked for an interview, and he didn't know me, and he says, Dennis, I'll tell you what, my brother, don't interview me, but why don't you just shadow me 1 week through City Hall? Imagine shadowing Maynard Jackson through City Hall. And what is Maynard Jackson's claim to fame? Dallas MBAs, that he was the first black Southern male mayor of a metropolitan area, but no. Maynard Jackson's claim to fame, he was the first individual who got the idea that an airport should be a shopping mall where people can catch a flight. And that was his idea. And now you look at DFW, now you go to Cincinnati, go to Denver Stapleton. It all began with Maynard Jackson. When Maynard Jackson took office in Atlanta, you had the #1 brand in the world in Coca-Cola. But you couldn't even get a Coke and sandwich out at that airport. And he said, something's wrong with this picture. We are going to engage in a, Thomas Kuhn, Harvard Business School, paradigm shift. And baby, if you don't like it, we're going to rebuild this airport brick by brick. We're going to use minority representation, and if you don't like it, damn it, I'm going to lay down on the runway. And what did Maynard do in the process? Personally created 14 millionaires. And as I close out, Maya Angelou, what did I learn from Maya Angelou? And daughters, what is Maya Angelou's claim to fame? That she wrote a poem and it was recited at Bill Clinton's inauguration? Hell no, that's not her claim to fame. Her claim to fame is that in 1969, she was the first black female streetcar conductor in San Francisco. And what did she share with me? Years from now, people will never remember what you said. They will never remember what you did. But they will never forget how you made them feel. I don't want to hear any excuses. I don't. We got enough talent in this room to change anything. And that's not me, damn it. That's Malcolm Gladwell. That's the next book you need to read, Tipping Point. If you haven't read Tipping Point, shame on you. What is the backdrop? What is the keynote of harmony to Tipping Point and Malcolm Gladwell? Any problem can be solved if only enough people care. Any problem, if only enough people care. Dallas, black MBAs, we're going to change this paradigm. We're going to make a difference because we care. Spit in his face, I'll show you Marcus Garvey, slam the school door in her face, she becomes Mary McLeod Bethune. Write him off as another fatherless black male. I'll show you Ben Carson, make him shine your shoes. He's Colin Powell, blind him, Stevie Wonder, raper, Maya Angelou, spit in his face, Marcus Garvey. Tell him can't lead. Comes Barack Obama. Confine him to the frigid stoves in the North Pole. I'll show you Matthew Henson, put him in a prison cell, throw away the key, Malcolm X. We got enough folks who care. Tell that individual, man, why are you gonna go out and hear this, brother? Man, come on, man. It's about wealth. And that's why you're here. What in God's name did Mary tell Martha? He's able.